I am DM Zone. This is the Gamer's Oasis. Now we're going to go into Entropia's tutorial. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, I like the fact that the mouse can control. I'm sure there's a... No, I don't want to... Space bar to jump. Mouse wheel to scroll. A little pudgy. Dr. Zimmer. Alright guys, so we are past the character creation. I finally get into the tutorial. I decide, nah, I don't really want to do it in this character's life. I didn't know there was only one character life per account at this point. And do the whole tutorial. Also, it's probably pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and if you're going through it, you probably want to experience some of it. However, I think I will talk about it some, because it kind of goes through, not necessarily the misrepresentation, because they definitely are clear about what they're doing, but I can tell you how I kind of thought maybe things were different. So you go through and you have the big three, just like I talked about before, the big three professions. You have crafting, you have hunting, and you have mining. You have a mission for each one of them. The first, well, we have a mission that kind of does 2 of the 3 at the same time, crafting and mining at the same time. Hunting is throughout all of them for the most part, though there are specific missions where it's go kill 3 of these or go shoo 3 of these away by killing them. And then there are other missions where you have to sweat. Now, sweating is one of the ways you can make money, which is why they want to show you how to do it in the tutorial. Makes a lot of sense. To be honest, this tutorial was good. I would give it like an 8 out of 10, which is higher than I think I've given any tutorial ever playing ever. Because, and the reason why, let me go through a couple reasons why. It wasn't a complete lag fest. Generally, like the server they do the tutorials on are the worst servers, the oldest, the ones that are ready to die, the grandmas of all the servers. Sorry for any grandmas I might offend. I don't mean to. This was pretty lag free. It wasn't glitchy, it wasn't buggy, there wasn't all sorts of exploits being done. There wasn't a lot of stuff that was unnecessary, shall we say. It was very, these are the things we want you to do. There's a few mobs in here. If you go close to them, they'll aggro you, only certain mobs. And they warn you about the difference between non-aggroing mobs and mobs that are herbivores and generally less tend to be aggro, and that type of stuff. And then they even teach you there are animal mobs, and then there are robot mobs, and there are these. I don't know if they talk about the mutant mobs in this or if I heard about that outside of the game, but I knew there's mutants. They didn't actually have mutants inside the tutorial, which after running into the mutants in game, I can tell you, thank God, because those things are brutal. I've only seen like a level 4, and it whooped me bad. Anyways, I digress. This video is being shot a little bit out of order too, so I don't really have a whole lot of the actual tutorial shot. Like I don't really have any of it. I didn't have the map, and have any. I thought I could come back to it. I didn't realize I could only take one character through it, so I was kind of thinking post-edit I might go back through and get the perfect shots and whatnot. Turns out you can't do that. There's a couple misconceptions, some things that weren't explained that I found throughout the game, and I'll kind of like lump these as a series of like blooper reels type of thing, and it's mostly in one area, unfortunately, so you don't get to see much of the map. But let's just say this was the very end. This was the final citadel, the well-protected area. There was a huge amount of wild between here and there that was basically like a golf course with a slight dog leg left. So yeah, but there was some more in there. It's just it'd be way too long of a video if I had all those in there. So we'll just go with this few clips. Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so I have, shall we say, gone on quite the adventure. I am now at the end of the tutorial. I've learned quite a bit. about both my character and his little slightly pudginess, which makes me laugh, and about the game. Borrowing this car, this Valkyrie, it's actually going to go away. It's kind of not what I want to do. No, let's not do that. I don't know why that's there. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that's there. Okay, well that's kind of cool. Apparently if you have that open and you like drop this here, now that item goes over there. Kind of cool. Then you can come over here. Let's see, it's drop out. I think L is the thing that's making it do this. There we go. And then my vehicle ends up being over here. I walk up to it, hit F. I can get inside it. And I can go tear around. Looks like a two-person vehicle. Hit F to get out. That's not what I do. F and hold, and it allows you to pick up. And it goes back. Okay guys, so I wanted to go ahead and talk real quickly about what I meant by some of the things are different and how I resolved some of these problems. There was, early in the tutorial, there was a couple things they installed or instilled upon me about like right clicking, pressing F to interact with things, E to activate things, that type of stuff. And you move with the mouse unless you have a window open, which allows you to then get different angles and whatnot. But you can steer with the mouse, or you can kind of steer with the normal WASD keys or the arrow keys. But it's more of strafing than steering. But anyways, and there's another thing about the game. When you are targeting something, you are aiming or focused on it, and you can't look away from it. You have to look at it, and then you can circle around it and that type of stuff. But if you look away from it, then whatever you're doing to it stops. Kind of a bulky system in that way, and maybe that's a negative towards the game overall, but this game was built in 2003. I don't really hold that against it. It's just a feature of the game. I use air quotes with the feature. Okay, so some of the things I ran into, as you saw, I was able to navigate past them because I got the basics of the game. I think they did a good job explaining that. One of the things I wish they had done maybe a little better job explaining is about how quickly you gained XP and how the weapons you were given were not bad as far as being able to kill the creatures in front of you, but were absolutely horrible for gain XP. So to give you an idea, I don't know if I have a screenshot of the original pistol or whatever that I was given, but the original pistol skill benefit was 0.01. When I got my first gun off of the trade terminal, which is the base trash loot you get and sell stuff to, it was 0.3, which I have a picture of that one. I'll put that up over here now. That's an enormous amount of difference. That's like 30 times the improvement in skill. So for every shot I fired with the new gun, I got 30 times more skill than I did with the original gun they gave me. Unfortunately, not knowing that, I was given probably 3,000 rounds of ammo. I blew through all 3,000 rounds of ammo while in the training area. Now, I did require a lot less ammo to fire the gun, which is a perk, but you just get no skill. So I'd prefer to get the skill than to have a few more shots, and I'd prefer to do that Camp Icarus when you get this, a dialectic way of saying it. By the way, I'll get into that more in the video. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and post a few of the weapons as I go through this. But this picture here is something I figured I would look at while I was talking, and I decided to use it as a B-roll for this. When I'm doing my future videos, the vlog types, I'm going to be doing this type of editing through the videos. If you like that, please comment down below what you think, especially if you made it this far, to let me know you've made it this far. If you want, also hit that subscribe, the like, or dislike if you don't like it. That lets me, that's informational too. I just need to know what's going on. All right, so let me go ahead and take you guys to Camp Icarus, and then I have some other video I shot that's more in time and sync, and yeah, you'll be able to see how things are different in that video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the starting area. I wanted to go ahead and show that. Oh, hit Q to run. Sometimes I can easily get clipped. That's interesting. Yes, I'm ready to go to the mainland. I know of a couple places I could use your help. Let's go. I'm assuming I'm teleporting. Should get blurry here in a second. Nope, just kind of flashed. Welcome to Camp Icarus. On Calypso. Sergeant Savannah Sienna wants to see me. Nice. Continue my quest giving. It's probably right there. It just hasn't loaded yet. There she is. Hello, I'm Sergeant Sienna, and you are... Hello, my name is Zone No Shao. What is this place? This is Camp Icarus, I don't know. Icarus, maybe. I think it's pronounced Icarus, locally, by the local dialect. A CDF outpost located a few clicks of Port Atlantis. Creatures are known as tripod tripodons, maybe. They're causing havoc here at the camp. I've run into this problem before. Killing 5 should be sufficient. Be grateful. Alright, so we're set up to do a kill quest. Let me go ahead and learn a little bit about this area, and then I'll come back to you guys. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've just now left the training area. I had a little bit of ammo there. I used it all up. Now I'm starting the new missions. I went ahead and did like the first 2 or 3. The first mission luckily gave me some ammo at the start of it because I had none. It was to kill 5 of these like frog things called tripodians or something like that. It's tough to remember exactly how it's a weird name. Anyways, so I'm going through, I'm killing these things. They're super easy to kill. I find out you can sweat them, which is nice. I don't know how useful that is, but it looks very useful. And then I go up the hill to where I'm supposed to go. I find another gentleman there. I talk to him. I start doing it, and I get my first piece of armor. Let me go ahead and get that and show it to you 1 second. Okay, guys, so as you see here in the armor set, which I believe is going to be just basically directly above me, if I've got my layout of my video right, it's a good armor. It's sort of like a burgundy and a dark gray, almost black. So I go ahead and start doing the quest series, and sure enough, they keep giving me ammo. It's like a drug addict or a drug dealer. They keep giving you the ammunition, keep giving the ammunition. There's a fall though, just like all addictions. Anyways, so I get my second piece of armor. I make it my shoulders because I figured that's a good piece to have. It's a lot of the body area, and I think this has hit locations, if I'm not mistaken. I remember something about that. It's not like you can choose to hit something, but at random you are hit in certain locations. And if your armor is there, then you are protected. And if it's not there, then you're not protected. And this isn't the best armor. It only does, as you can see, like 2 or 3 points of protection per type of damage there is. But if it's got 2 different types of damage, then that could be up to 6 points, which could be very, very, very useful. So I'm definitely going to be using this armor when I'm doing like farming or whatever, because it's going to reduce the amount of time I have to heal. I don't know if I'm going to be buying more armor of this nature, unless I want to complete the set just for nostalgia's sake, saying this is my first armor set. Let's see. Oh, so one of the things I found was I started to get a new loot called shrapnel. Shrapnel was, or I don't remember it in the tutorial. Maybe I was getting it there too. But shrapnel was dropping off of basically every mob, and I didn't know what it was for. I assumed it was some sort of crafting or something of that nature, and I knew there was a thing called a refiner, and I know there's a crafting station. So I was like, we'll figure it out later. I'm not worried about it right now. But then I go through the rest of this quest series, and apparently I ended it, and now it's come to a full stop. Now I don't have ammo. I stopped getting quests that give me ammo, so now I had to go buy my first set of ammo. Now I had a bunch of hides and like random stuff that I knew wasn't going to be a lot on the auction hall, and it would be something I'd have to spend a long time doing, because I knew there was like going to be a 50 cent or 54 cent markup because of the auction fee. So I was like, at this point in time, it's probably good just to sell it. So I sold some of that stuff, and I made about, I bet it was right at 2 ped. And I took that 2 ped, and I bought ammo with it. And I took that ammo and I used it to complete more missions, and I got into something called Argonauts, which are like werewolf-looking things that are stuck in the wolf form or the were form. And they're not too hard. They're level 3. I was able to defeat them fairly easy. You can't sweat them. They're not actually animals. I found that out. Went through some quests on that. Got some more ammo. It was very helpful. But that ammo ran dry very quickly, so I did this again with the stuff I had. So I'm running out of things to sell. I'm running out of ammo to shoot, and I'm down to the shrapnel. And I'm thinking, man, do I sell the shrapnel and buy ammo? So, much as I hate to say, I sold my first batch of shrapnel. Went ahead and bought me some ammo with it, because it was the only thing that was really showing that was worth something. So I had about 5 ped now. I didn't sell 5 ped of shrapnel. It was probably 3.5 ped. But I had about 5 ped of ammo, and that got me through a big burst. And, I almost got my first professional rank in laser pistol and laser rifle, and I was almost there. At this point, it's been about 3 days. I think it's about 3 days into it. And now that runs dry, and I have more shrapnel. So I just asked in local chat, hey, what do I do with this shrapnel? And they were like, right click it. I was like, oh. So I right clicked it, and I was like, oh, it makes ammo. So in further research into how efficient it is, it actually makes 1% more ammo than if you sell it to the trade terminal. So it's not a huge amount, but my 3.5 ped would have been, I guess, 3.65 ped worth of, or instead of, I sold it for 3.5, so it would have been 3.65, I guess, ped worth of ammo if I just converted it. And it makes it into universal ammo, which can be used by everything, versus weapon ammo, which can only be used by laser pistols or laser rifles. So, lesson learned. Don't get educated in all topics. And that's when I really started to dive down into becoming more and more educated. And I won't go into all that in this video because it'd be way too much, but I will talk about it in more videos. What I will say is that I also had another disappointment. So everyone says the way you make money in this game is you sweat, or you find fruit, or you find dung, or you find stones and you sell them. But they don't say how hard it is to find a buyer. I have found that dung is virtually impossible to sell. I've never even seen anyone sell it. So I know people are finding it. I haven't yet, but I know that people are finding it. I've never seen it for sale, and I've been told that it doesn't sell. I've never seen anyone for stones, but I've been told some of the stones fetch a high price on the auction hall because they are used to make textures. Dung is used to make is used for refined into something for some sort of growth hormone or something as a fertilizer, I guess. And then it's actually used in owning of land to grow plants and animals and that type of stuff. I guess moss on rocks is another thing you can do with it, which is cool. So eventually, whenever I have a land area, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Fruit can be made into several things like Nutribars and that type of stuff. It actually has a decent price. People sell it on the auction hall for like 2.5 to 2.2 ped for 1,000 fruit. I found one thing of fruit, and the fruit was 83 fruit. However, I've been told that's actually a very low number to find when you find fruit, and that sometimes when you find fruit, it's several thousand fruit. So that could literally be 4 to 8.5 ped worth of fruit laying on the ground, that would be amazing. I'm waiting to find that haul because I don't think I've ever actually had 8 ped at one time in this game so far. The most I ever had was 5. All right, so let me go ahead and get into 2 things that have happened. I had 2 gifts that were done for me. I had a person who saw me out there sweating. Let me get to sweating real quick. So sweating at Camp Icarus works like this. If you don't have ammo, you have to sweat the animal. And I'm actually going to put a little video up of this happening right here. And you're going to sweat the animal. Your life is going to go down. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. Then you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with that animal. You can run back to the gun, and the gun shoots it. You can have someone else shoot it if they're willing. Or if you're near water, you could run into the water and drown it. Going back to those frogs, that may not be a bad idea. The frogs have less hit points, but they also have less to hit, and they don't hit as hard as the creatures right at Camp Icarus. So you could run into the water and drown the frog in water. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. You will get less sweat per creature, though, on the frogs because they have less hit points. Every 1 hit point is worth 1 sweat. So it's CAUD something or other. It's a big dinosaur looking thing. It has 17 hit points. The puny ones have 17 hit points. And I think the frogs on the beach have 10. So it's about 1.7 frogs. But you don't have to take the big hit. I don't think a frog can even hit you for 11, 12 points of damage. And I think I've had those things crit for like 16 to 20 points of damage. So they hit harder. Okay, so sweating that there takes a long time because you have to then regenerate your health. Your health, I found out, regenerates at 4 hit points every 20 seconds. So I have 88 hit points starting, like everyone else. It took literally forever. Just walk away, go do something else, come back. For me to come back from basically death or from very low hit points. So I can then go pull another one. And the most I get, you think, oh, you get 17 every time you do this. No. My skill's not up. So I might get 5 to 6, maybe 8, 10 if I'm really lucky. And I have to kill the creature. If I have more than one person working with me, which happens occasionally at the camp, you have 2 or 3 people working together, but that seems like it almost becomes too easy, and then people get distracted and go do other things. For like 20 minutes, you have 2 or 3 people working together. That makes it really easy because you guys kind of share it, but my skill was a little higher than everyone else because I did it more, so I generally got it anyways, and I would have to tank it while everyone else got the free sweat, and then I'd have to go rest while they did that, because as soon as I jumped on it, I'd immediately pull it off because I was pulling more sweat than they were. or something. I don't know. Or I have bad luck, or I smell good. I don't know. So, anyways, so I was doing this, and about 5 to 6 hours at a time, I can make 1,000 sweat, and I was right at 2,000 sweat when a guy ran by and opened the trade window, because I'd been there for within the first 2 days. I'd been there like 12 hours sweating, not even doing quests, just sitting there with a little sweat thing, basically droning out, watching YouTube videos, learning about the game while I'm sitting there sweating, that type of stuff. And he walked by and he said, "Hey, here you go. You're new." And I said, "Thanks." And I had to figure out how the trade window navigated, because I never did a trade with anyone. It's not as there's not I didn't have it's not as intuitive as some of the other stuff in the game. It's you get it. It makes sense at the end. You have to check twice, and I don't know what the difference between the checks are really at this point in time. I just feel like it's saying yes twice. And then your coins don't go into your card. You have to then move it onto the card. But he just walked by and gave me 0.5 ped or 50 pec. And he gave me a weapon that was like a missile launcher or something. It's a ballistic launcher. And I have never shot a ballistic launcher. And it wasn't a very good one. It was just one you found. I looked at the trade terminal value of it, and it's 1.3. It's a 13 pack, basically. It's not worth a whole lot. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might use it. I might sell it. I might to the trade terminal. There's no market value on the auction hall for it, which is probably why he gave it to me, figuring maybe he could use this. But I don't need that. I need ammo. That would have been way more helpful, because I could actually kill something. I've been running around for the last couple days now with no ammo. And yeah. So that was my first gift and my first experience. I'm now a little over 2 ped in sweat, or over 2K in sweat, which is like, I've been told anywhere between 2 and 2.4 is the median thing. And if you're super lucky, you might get 2.6 ped. But I'm hoping for 2.4. If I can get 2.4, maybe 2.2, I think I'll be okay with it. But yeah, so that's where I am with this stuff right now. And I look forward to hopefully getting this farther along, because I've spent I've had the game for 3 days. I've played for probably about 30 hours, and I have 0 ammo. I have about 2.5 ped worth of sweat in my bank, and I found out you can't sell sweat very easy. It's pretty hard, at least at Camp Icarus, or in a thing called Cali Trade. I'll put a link down below in Cali Trade. I found this thing with Cali Trade. So anyways, I'll see you guys in a minute for the next update. So guys, I talked about a few seconds ago, about a gift I was given with a missile launcher and like 0.5 ped or 50 cents. That was my only gift up to that point, but I was very happy with, especially the 0.5 cents. But I got another gift, and this gift is a gift that is significantly more. First of all, it's forever, which eventually I would have got it anyways. But this gift gave me waypoints to different areas, and it allowed me to fly in an aircraft, which was also cool. I'm going to have video footage of that as we're talking right around now. And it was very cool to fly through the air. The views were good. I was a little scared it was going to fall out. I didn't know if you could just eject yourself. I know you can, but I wasn't sure how hard it was, so a lot of times I didn't touch the mouse a whole lot. Graphically, it can be a little bit of a challenge if you don't have a good graphics card. The pilot recommended I actually turn my settings down unless I knew. I told him I thought I was okay, and it turned out I was. There was one little glitchy area where we went into 2 different areas at the same time, maybe across the PvP area, I don't know. And it literally like froze for a split second, but then it cleared up and went on. But along the way, we picked up 3, 4 way areas, and he was flying that way anyways, and was being super nice, or she. I don't actually know if it's a girl or a guy. And they flew me for free. Normally, they charge. I think they said 65 cents to fly to Borealis, Boreas. Is that Borealis? Boris, maybe Boris. I think it's Boris. Which is one of two areas I've heard of where they have pretty constant sweat circles. The other one is Royal something or other, and I've not been there either. But I gotta go to this place, and let me tell you, being in a sweat circle where you have like 10, 15, sometimes 30 people, that is way better. So my old Vibrant Sweat collection would be 5 or 6 hours. I get 1,000. I got a little over 2,000 sweat this way. I have done it now this way at Boris, and it's less than 2 hours for 1,000 sweat, and there's no heal time. It's just continuous. It's go time. So I'm hoping to get that down to an hour with skill. Right now, funny thing, I'll show you a little bit in the professions, but my sweat gathering profession, which is what they actually call the skill. It's very confusing. When you hear people talk about skills, they're not talking about actual skill points. They're talking about the skill points that are then used to go into your profession. And they're actually talking about your profession points. They're asking how many points of profession do you have when they say what's your skill point, or when the weapon says skill point. It's actually talking about your profession level, not what rank or skill point you have in the actual weapons or whatever you're doing. Anyways, so sweat gathering is my highest profession right now. I would love to have my pistolier or my rifleman higher, but gotta have ammo. So if you are going to be a free to play or a non-depositing player, you might as well just go and expect that for at least a while, until I can get other things turning, like my refining and my trades on the auction house, or mining or whatever. Sweat gathering is going to be what I am. I am a sweat gatherer because I don't inject money into the game. Anyways, so I didn't think that would actually happen so quickly, but my rifle, pistol, and evasion has all gone to 1. Evasion went up so quickly because I was a sweat gatherer at the camp so long. I got a lot of points of evasion and dodge, so that part's nice. But my sweat gathering is already past 2. So I'm literally double the skill, and I haven't shot a round in 4 days. So if you are a non-depositing player, I believe that this is a very legitimate thing that you can build enough wealth to where, if you can do the market right and the refining right and some other things right, and you have a little bit of luck, you'll be okay, and you'll be able to play as much as everyone else potentially. But you have to be smart with what you do, and you can't just spend money on things. You won't have as nice of things probably as some of the other people, but I think you'll still be able to skill and do those other things at this time and point. However, I have still not sold a sweat. I've had people offer to buy it for 1 ped per 1,000. I've had no one be willing to buy it for 1.2 ped. And I'm over 5,000 sweat now. So I've been doing it for a while. And unfortunately, I'm not getting. I've even offered, which is the same price point, 5K sweat for 6 ped, and I'm not getting any responses. So hopefully, anyways, here's the flight, and we got I think one more update I want to do next week, and then we'll do the conclusion. So I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. If you do, again, like, comment, subscribe. I'm all ears. Just want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Hey guys, You're not going to believe this. Okay, so this morning is the morning of July 26th. Okay, so it's almost near the end of the month. I was going to do a little review type of thing, and I was going to do like trade fit and a hunt and all that type of stuff. Made all these plans, done a lot of research. Excuse me. I just got off work, so I'm tired. Work 12 and a quarter hour days when I work. This is my second day and busy night. Anyways, so I'm excited because I want to tell you guys about what happened before I went to work yesterday. So I woke up in the middle of the day. I work nights, so I woke up in the middle of the day around 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was hanging out in Boris, sweating like I have to. And this guy comes across the chat and says, hey, willing to buy sweat, 3 ped per 1,000. I thought, man, there ain't no way. I can't. I have had a hard time getting 1.1 ped. Well, I've been trying to get 1.2 ped for days and weeks and haven't had it. So I sent him a message like, oh, too bad, because he said sold, like it had already gone. And I said, oh, too bad. And, I've been trying to, do it for 1.1 and, trying to get 1.2. And he said, well, the guy only had 1,000 sweat, so bring me what you have. All right. So I went ahead and brought all the sweat I had over there and rounded it down to 1,000. And I had just over 3,000 sweat. So I gave him 3,000 sweat, and he gave me 9 ped, which is pretty amazing. So I asked him why, when everyone else is like 1.1, 1.2 maybe, or 1. A lot of people asking for 1. And he said that he had hit a global for 90 ped, and he wanted to give back to the community, so he went to an area where people were fairly new, knowing that if they weren't new, maybe they were botting or whatever, or AFK. So whoever might be there active. The second part I'm ad-libbing. I'm assuming that's what it was for. He went to an area where people sweat and asked that question. So I'm assuming you're trying to target newer players, and that were not AFK. Because he kind of put like a time frame on it. And so he went ahead and did the trade. I think he was looking to help that part of the community, if I was to make a guess based upon the rest of our interaction. Now, I'm not going to go too far into it, but I will say he has totally messed up every plan I had. I'm sitting here looking at my 14 peg 7.5, which is what I had. After he gave me 9 ped. And I was like, all right, so then I can do my hunt. I can do this. I have all these things I plan to do. I can now do my 10 ped hunt. No problem. He's like, where you should go? I said, where's that? He's been helpful so far. I figured I'd listen to him, maybe get some advice on where to go for where I should hunt next. He said, you should go Arcadia. They have daily missions there that give you 2 ped for doing the daily mission. He said if you get a couple of those done, it doesn't, you spend more than 2 ped on the shooting, but it will help get you back to 0 basically, and it's a good way to train, and it lasts for a while. And some of them are more than that and pay out more than that, and some of them pay out in ammo. So I thought, well, that's not bad. He said, and you can go to the moon, and there's a bi-weekly event that is designed to target new players. That's pretty cool. I said, well, I heard it costs about 7 ped to get there. I said, maybe if I get a little bit extra, it might be worth doing. I like to get some of my shooting skills up and everything. I said, I might do that in a couple of weeks or whatever. He said, that's cool. And then a little bit of time went by, and he's like, I'm basically heading there anyways, so you want to lift? So the same way I got from Camp Icarus to Boris is the same thing that happened for me to get from Calypso to Planet Arcadia. The people in this game never cease to amaze me. That man didn't ask me for a dime. I asked him how much it cost. He said nothing. It cost him 2 ped to get out of the Calypso space and into actual space. Then it cost him the gas to get there. Normally people charge 5 ped for that, or 7 ped for planet travel. So he missed out on 7. He overpaid probably 5.5, 6 ped on the sweat. Then we get there, and he's got a Schleppner. And he said it's a very worn out, badly damaged Schleppner with a thruster. He said, how about basically a little less than TT value? So you can fly to the moon, and then you don't have to pay the 2 ped to go to the moon. You don't have to hitchhike with someone else. Yes, I will do that. Thank you. So I bought the Schleppner off him. So now I have a Schleppner. I have a thruster to get into space. I have a little bit of fuel to get me back and forth several times. I'm on Planet Arcadia, which is going to be over here to this way. It's this way. I think it's that way. It's going to be over here to my right as I'm looking at it. And now every hunt I plan to do is kind of derailed. I plan to hunt. I had plans for everything. I wanted to. My next hunt was going to be with a rifle. Probably still will be. But I had planned to hunt the Berry Clydes, because the Berry Clydes don't have a whole lot of hit points, and by the time they got to me, even though they hit hard, the rifle probably would have it down to 1, maybe 2 shots, and they'd be good. They'd be dead. And they also have a huge aggro range, which is perfect for the rifle. And then I was going to take the pistol, and I was going to go against the curbs over there by Borealis, or by Twin Peaks, just south of them. I think it's south or west of them. There's some curbs over there, and that would have been perfect. And then I was actually considering going into melee weapons, which I'm probably still going to do to kind of give me a more rounded character. And I was going to go ahead and do that, but I was going to do that with like the punies around Camp Icarus, because by then I'll be a little higher, my evade will be even higher, they'll be missing me a lot more, I'm going to be training that, and I'm going to build my strength up, which is going to help in mining, and it's going to help in my hit points, that type of stuff. Also, because of the little bit of stuff I did today, or yesterday, I picked up an extra hit point, so I'm up to 90 hit points now, which is cool. And I was going to start off with fists, because they hit hard, they're quick, they're the fastest, the melee weapons from what I understand. And probably the easiest one to do. Then I was going to go with the short blades, whatever it is, the little daggers. And the reason I was going to go that way is because the one that has the most amount of decay and the least amount of efficiency is the two-handed sword, the large weapons. And I was going to do that last, making me the most efficient, and that was kind of like the story arc I was going to go, and I was going to spend 10 ped on each one, and that'd be like 3 to 5 months worth of hunts, I hoped, and that would be like a good arc, and then I would start back over again, and we could see the progress of each one of those hunts. So I'm still doing that, but now my monsters have completely changed, and I might have to switch to the BLP weapons, if I'm not mistaken, because Arcadia seems to use a lot of BLP, not laser. So I'm probably going to have to change which guns I'm using. I'm going to continue with the ones I have. But once I get rid of them, unless I can find decent ones with low markup, I probably won't. I'm probably going to have to switch to the BLP. And that's going to change a little bit of things too. Also, I had a place I was going to mine. I'm not going to tell you where it is, because I will go back there, which was going to be perfect for low-level crafting. And I was going to not sell my ore. I was just going to try and break even, and anything I went past, I was going to save. So whenever I went like 1% profitable, or whatever the past 100% was, I was going to put that in my bank and then sell on the auction hall the rest. So I would keep my mining neutral and then slowly build up my crafting supply, and eventually I'd be able to switch over. But that's kind of put on hiatus. Now I got to find a new location where those two ores and maybe the same recipes, but who knows if I want those same recipes, because those same recipes may not fit in a different market, because these markets are not laser based, they're BLP based, as far as I can tell. And I've done very little research on this yet. Like I said, last night was busy, and I didn't have any time between me getting done with this and going to work. Now, this also means I now have a new video, Welcome to Arcadia, or something of that nature. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got most of that video already shot. I did that yesterday when I spent about 3 hours with this gentleman. I'm not going to say what his name is here, but I will say his name in that video. So if you want to know who the very nice person, member of the Fourth Circle Society, that sent me there. By all means, go watch that video, and you can go ahead and give your opinion of what that person did, whether you thought it was being too nice to a noob, or if you thought that was, a great representative of the community, or whatever your thoughts are. We had a good conversation. It was a long trip. It's about 45 minutes to Arcadia. And of course, there's pirates, and I'm worried about just being jettisoned out into space and that type of stuff. All sorts of worries of that nature. So I didn't. The only thing I didn't do that I wish I had done, is I did not bring my four-wheel vehicle to Arcadia. So I have it sitting in storage in Calypso when I go back there. But luckily, all I gotta do is get 10K sweat, and then I can go ahead and do the Arcadia mission. And I think the third step or so, you get a hovercraft, which is supposedly the most efficient ground vehicle in the game that can go over ground and water, which is amazing too. I'll be taking that with me wherever I go. And if I really need to get around faster than walk speed, I can just fly in the Sleipnir. So I still have vehicles. I'm still mobile, probably more mobile now than I was before. It just might be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, so things are absolutely amazing. It's really hard for me to keep the title, which was going to be a painful start, because frankly, the community in this game, Entropia Universe, has not made it painful. The system of Entropia Universe is oppressive on purpose, because it's a business and because they have to still make money, and because there's a growth within there, and that you get better and you start to get more and more equal, neutral, and maybe positive on some of the occasions. They're a business. I don't fault them at all. But it definitely is designed to not let you succeed unless you put the extra work in, which is why I have sweated so much. That sweating is almost rank 3 when my pistols, rifle, and evasion is rank 1. Or not rank 1, but profession level 1. So that's a thing, and I'm okay with that. And I entered this game knowing that would be what I was doing. And I hope someday in the future that my hunting and mining and crafting professions are higher than my sweating, but I'm not holding my breath within the first year. So totally good with that. And I want to thank the communities I've run into. I've run into 3 people that have done different types of gifts, and I have run into a person who has become my mentor. He would rather remain anonymous and doesn't want his chat shown. So I'll state that I have one. I'll state that we have a great relationship and that he's been very helpful. But as far as everything else, I'm just going to leave that vague for right now, for his privacy. Or her privacy, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a guy. Actually, maybe not. Anyways, so I'm going to go end this here, and then we'll go ahead and do the final conclusion when you guys see me next. Hey guys, this is the conclusion to this whole month worth long video. If you don't understand what's going on, basically I have shot this video about once a week until the end of the month. Sometimes it was twice a week because we had some big things come up, like going to Arcadia and whatnot. This is a different format. It's kind of a monthly vlog. It kind of gives you an idea what the month in my life was like. This is going to be for July 2020. The start of the vlog. This is the first one. So if you saw this one, thank you. Post that you started here, so that you and other people, I guess, or whoever, know where you started. Also, pose your questions about what I'm going through, what's going on, what is it like, some of the difficulties I run into, some of the things I've learned about. There are things that I'm not going to be as experienced about, and I'm not going to be able to answer. There's going to be some things that's going to be too personal. I'm not going to answer. But I think you guys, as decent people, can figure that out. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, I'm not going to be able to make the super cool videos. You're not going to see the 200 ped mining or farming, or I just got this Hoff. Probably going to be a while for that. So if that's the type of videos you're interested in, you may come back and check me out in a little bit later. If you're cool with this type of stuff and you want to go through the journey, I welcome you, and I appreciate it. Original thought. I'm going to put this one out there because I don't think it's too original. And it's not going to be anything like that the market can mess me up on a whole lot. So I'm going to be farming a certain number of creatures, and I'm going to be saving basically all the pet I get from that in the form of items. Shrapnel I'm going to turn into universal ammo, and then the rest of it to make up the next hunt I'm going to sweat to get that money. So this last one, I did a hunt. You can watch the hunt, but a little spoiler here, I guess, not really that much. I did a 10 pet hunt. I came back with 5.3 pet or something like that. That means that for me to get, maybe it was 7 point. I think I came back with a difference less than 10. I'm not going to get into exactly what it is because I can't remember what it was. One was 5.3 and one was 7. And I can't remember which one was what. It actually came out profitable. Probably should have said that. Anyways, go check out the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's not very exciting. It's very boring, but it is profitable. And that's part of the first point. So I'm going to go ahead and take the items I get from there, and I'm going to stack them until they get up to about 50 ped, and then that 50 ped item worth of items I'm going to put on the market, on the AH, because those things will now, the 54-cent fee to get on the auction hall will then be waived, and it will not be waived, but it'll be minimized amongst 50 ped versus, I put 5 items up there for a ped and a half. That 54 cents jacks it over 2 ped, and that's a lot. So it's not felt as much on a larger number, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I might look for some niche things, and I won't go into that because that would be affecting me in the market. Like maybe a certain item needs to be required that requires a certain amount of this, requires 20, and that 20 ends up being 15 ped. Well, that might be worth putting there at 15.5 ped, because a crafter wanting to make that specific item would need 20 of that to do that. So, anyways, not going to go into what those are, but they may exist. But there are going to be some like hair gel. If I were to happen to find hair gel, maybe this last hunt, it has a pretty good markup and it has a pretty good peck price. But the problem is, it has not sold in the last week. It's sold in the last month, but not in the last week. So if I were to take a gamble and put, let's just go with 50 ped. But even if I were to put the 1.5 pack up there, figuring the markup and everything would cover the cost of there's a chance it may not sell during this week. If I was the only one selling hair gel, the likelihood is I'm not going to be the only one selling hair gel, and I need to be the lowest. So in that type of situation where it's going to be a dive to the bottom and you're not selling a lot of it, and there's a chance it may not even sell this week, I think I'm going to look for people to offload that onto, like someone who maybe has more ability to store resources, a crafter, someone who's in, maybe I'll look for a beautician of some nature, whatever that is, a face sculptor, body sculptor type of person, and then just be like, hey, you need this, and then that'll be like my go-to contact person for that, unless someone contacts me and say, hey, I'm a face sculptor, and you can do that in game. You can contact me and say, hey, if you happen to get any of this, I'm interested. I live in this area if you happen to be in the area, or I can travel. And that would be a good way of doing that. And that's kind of a little bit more note-taking and whatnot, but I think that's going to be important for those good items to sell, but they don't sell very often because people aren't doing them as much, but I'm going to get them. And I don't think hair gel is going to be the only one I get like that. Okay, guys, so that's basically going to wrap up my video. It's a little bit longer this month. I had a lot of stuff happen. It was the first month. Typically in the first month you play, you have more things that happen, often many of them positive because they want to keep you in the game. I'll go into more detail about my hunt in the hunt video. Watch that. I'm also going to be doing a Welcome to Arcadia video because that's a something that happened would take too much time in this video to go into. So please check out those 2 videos. I'll try and put them in cards above me. Maybe I'll get the right hand with the right one. So this will be the Welcome to Arcadia. All right. So look for you guys next month. I hope you guys enjoy your time. Thank you.